So the last story starts off right from where Team Chaotix's ending left off. You'd be surprised how many people didn't know how to get to the last story because they didn't know that they could go to the right on the interface. There's no arrow telling you that you can scroll to the last story. I like how he looked so sad trying to admit that Metal Sonic was the one who betrayed him. It really implies that maybe he was really attached to him. Maybe he was hurt that he betrayed him. I mean, he wasn't that ashamed when Omega betrayed him, was he? I guess this is, as far as he knows, the first time that this has ever happened, because he never found out about Gamma. And he didn't really seem to care. Well, I don't really think he... No, he sees Omega after this 40-second long opening transformation sequence. Literally, you could play all of the loading screens of every Dreamcast era Sonic game at once in this cutscene, and 06 wouldn't be done loading. I mean, it would be barely done loading by the time this all ended. I know it's supposed to be epic and dramatic, but it takes too long. And it just... I don't understand, like, how insecure is Metal Sonic about his ability to defeat Sonic that he does this? I think if he fought him like this, he would have won. But instead, he turns into this slow and boring dragon thing that's attached to the ship, so he can't really do anything to him. It's like... it just... all he does is long-range attacks. It's so disappointing. Why can't he just... That's one of the biggest disappointments of this plot. We can't defeat it? Oh, thanks. And now for another comedic moment that isn't up and in your face. It's like the plot is pretty self-aware here. It knows how often Chaos Emeralds are used. I don't know why it's not just Team Rose that has the Emeralds, because everyone knows you get the Chaos Emeralds with Team Rose. Why are you doubting that Sonic will be able to save the day? I mean, you must have a lot of faith in your robot.
Okay, guys.
It makes sense that... I mean, Shadow has a super form, but he almost died the last time I tried to use one. And he doesn't remember that he did try to use one last time. So I guess it would make sense that Sonic wouldn't tell him to come with them, just in case he would fall from the Earth. He would fall to Earth again. That was a pretty embarrassing line of Sonic's there. I mean, it makes sense because he's a dork after all. Like, that's what makes him charming as a character. You think that he's just about like he's trying to be cool, but he's really not when it comes to his personality. He's really just like everyone else. He's a dork, but that's what makes him charming, isn't it? It's what he does that makes him cool. The fact that he can still do cool things even though he's really just a nerd. Not really a nerd, that would be Tails, but it's weird how he's more of a dork than Tails is. But still, that's not really a line that you'd expect from Sonic. It's easily one of the most mocked lines in the franchise. There comes a point where it's just too kiddie. And thankfully, that's a very rare time when this game does that. I like how Amy was being a spunky badass standing up to Metal Sonic, being angry with him, and even Cream was like, I can't believe you did such a thing! I don't really like how Charmy calls him a freak, though. He literally sounds like a bully when he says that. It's like, this is a very disappointing final boss, which is why I'm glad I wasn't actually able to play it. Because you need to get all the Chaos Emeralds to fight it. That's stupid. Why can't all the characters just have the Chaos Emeralds right from the start? I mean, like, this is the biggest argument against mandatory special stages, especially in 3D games. It just serves as a giant roadblock. This is basically just hit the weak spot over and over again. Thunder shoot it over and over again. When he's close enough to you, like in Team Rose, you can attack it with Big. But it's like, he never actually comes up close to you, which would probably kill you. Instead, he does a tail swipe, and he just stands there. He does long distance attacks, like he can freeze your partners in crystals, and if he does that too much, then you die. But it's just disappointing in general. Even Egg Emperor was a harder boss than this. I mean, it kind of makes sense because it's the final boss for all 4 stories, but it's like, I'm not entirely complaining because I prefer bosses to be easy, but it drags out for far too long considering how easy it is. Says as Omega dies. But Rouge does have a good line there. I mean, how insecure is he that he thinks he needs to consume other people's power to be able to fight Sonic? And again, Eggman must have really liked him to upgrade him when he hasn't fought Sonic in years. Was he planning on making him fight Sonic with an order? And he just got impatient of waiting? Because, like, I don't know. I don't understand why he would have upgraded him, given him that copy ability he didn't really need, if he wasn't planning on sending him after Sonic anyways. But he just had to be the one to fight Sonic. But he's basically just doing what Eggman would have done, aside from the whole transforming himself with metal thing. He's basically just trying to take over the world, just like Eggman is. Way to rebel there. A real rebelling against your master would be fighting against him, like Gamma or Omega. Well, not Gamma. All he really did was free birds, but this is kind of misguided, isn't it? I like some of Metal Sonic's lines. I mean, this is stupid. This comes out of nowhere. I mean, a lot of the time, I mean, it makes sense for him to have villain lines like that. But it seems over the top. But I get it though. He's supposed to be menacing. He's supposed to be a villain. A fun fact is that Ryan Drummond actually voiced Metal Sonic. What he did was that he spoke in monotone because of course you have to make a robot sound monotone, even though you think a robot as advanced as Metal Sonic would be given better tonal inflection. And they put his voice through a robot synthesizer. I think it would have been a lot cooler and a lot more eerie if they had him sound just like Sonic. But, you know, a bit more robot synthesizer-like, I guess. Lame. They have super forms in Sonic 3 Knuckles, and now in Sonic Mania, but it's like, what, did Sonic not want to share the glory? Did he not want them stealing his thunder? Did he think there wasn't enough energy for, well, that is probably the explanation. Maybe there's not enough energy for 3 people. But the Chaos Emeralds are very powerful artifacts, so it wouldn't really matter, would it? But yeah, it's pretty lame. They get the golden shields from Sonic 3D Blast instead. I guess what you're supposed to do here is break the crystals to get Team Blast, but if you're smart, you just use the Team Blast glitch to build it up anyways. I like how they actually bothered to give a completely different Team Blast cutscene for the final boss. But yeah, Metal Sonic, he basically, he seems insecure in some of his lines here, which can add depth to his character, but they don't really elaborate on it all that much. And also, this boss has one of the worst typos in the history of the franchise. And it really does bring you out of it when you notice it. I don't think you can turn subtitles off, so there's no way you wouldn't be able to notice it. But it's like basically, I don't know, this isn't a very good boss. It kind of drags out. And like, it's cool that Metal Sonic is finally the main villain in the game for once. But the way it's executed is pretty disappointing. That was the past? Ugh. That is the worst typo in the history of the franchise. But yeah, you basically just use the Team Blast glitch to build up Team Blast easily, and you just spam it and you win. I guess it's good that time freezes whenever you're watching that cutscene, but isn't it supposed to be actually happening? It's not like the characters all break into a musical, and it's not actually supposed to have canonically happened. So why is time freezing? Because like it's representing something that's actually happening. They're attacking him. Really? So I never played this boss fight. Obviously this is borrowed footage. I'm not really sure how exactly you get rings. I mean, it's not like there's a whole bunch of rings that you can fly into, like in the Time Eater, where you can boost to attract rings to yourself. So I'm not really sure how you get rings, and also it doesn't look like you're decreasing rings at extremely slow rate. So that's very convenient. And yeah, like he's talking just like Eggman would have, like, I shall become the ultimate overlord. Like, it's just so cliche. Where did any of this come from? Why would he be programmed to and go? That looks like a Chinese word. Like I know a Chinese last name that's G-U-O. So again, bad script there. I'm the real Sonic. Something that was never alluded to and never comes back again. So is this a massive programming glitch, or what? I really don't like what Sonic says after beating the boss, because he sounds like a fucking bully. And Knuckles isn't even in the victory screen. Sonic is so egotistical that he has to push him out of the way and not let him actually be shown, given the credit he deserves. Well, to be fair, what exactly did he do aside from giving him Team Blast? I mean, he just like... See, I would feel sorry for him a lot more if he didn't speak in monotone there. And what kind of a line, what kind of a response is that? Aw. See, that's a pretty sweet moment. Why didn't he just say that? Like, with the piano playing and him actually being friendly to him? Like... That's an awkward waving hands animation. Most of the time, the body language in this game is actually really well done. And Rouge is teasing Knuckles, just like at the end of SE2's plot. So once again, it's a pretty heartwarming ending, without the bittersweetness of a character death. So, I guess Eggman's a really big cheapskate, so he can't bear to part with any sort of money at all. This needs dialogue to explain it, because some people expected Metal Sonic to maybe be working with Team Dark, because he was being like, why would Omega be carrying Metal Sonic? Character growth cannot happen that fast. He's supposed to be all about destroying Eggman's robots, and yet he doesn't destroy him while he's unconscious, despite everything that he did. Instead, he carries him for no reason. Was he going to bring him back to Eggman's base for Eggman to... But why would he do that? Why would he help someone he hates so much? And why is he doing this without even being told to? Why... Like, some people thought maybe that he would be a hero in Shadow the Hedgehog because maybe they're going to bring Metal Sonic with Team Dark and then he'd be reprogrammed by Gun. That would be pretty cool. Of course, then we get deprived of one of the fan favorite enemy rivals of Sonic. Oh, he's not really a rival, because all he's really been shown to do is try to kill him, because that's what he's told to do. And because he's jealous, I guess. So, it's not like he's ever competed with him in something other than fighting. Well, like, he's competed with him in pinball and in Sonic Free Riders, but it's dubious whether those games are canon or not, and whether he decided to do it, or if Eggman just told him to. We don't know if he's ever, of his free will. Well, in Sonic Free Riders he did choose to compete with Sonic in airborne racing, but he's not nearly as much of a rival as, say, Shadow and Knuckles are. But yeah, that was Sonic Heroes. And again, I'm very pleasantly surprised by how good that game turned out to be. I like how there's so much variety in what you're doing in the level design itself, because there's 3 different characters you can play as. So it's not just about jumping around. And you can fly anytime you want to, and that combined with the slow speed of the flight formation means that you don't have to worry about not landing your jumps and overshooting your jumps. Plus there's a drop shadow, and that's another thing this game has over generations. So even though people complain about slippery controls, it doesn't actually factor into the gameplay, because you never have to worry about getting the platforming wrong. And, well, sometimes it can be annoying, like, you get launched from a ramp, and then you land, and you just shoot forwards really quickly, and you have to turn and then jump to cancel out your momentum. But at least you can cancel out your momentum. Like, I barely ever died to those moments of slipperiness ever. And most of the time, the level design is designed around the controls. There's walls everywhere, keeping you from falling off the edge. Sometimes when you run towards the edge, your character stops at the edge, preventing you from dying. And like, a lot of times the level design is very wide open, rather than being narrow like in SA1. So the controls aren't really a problem. And the levels, they're the worst levels in the middle, like the pinball levels in Rail Canyon and Lost Jungle. For the most part, the levels are really good, and the worst part is in the middle, so you're less likely to rage quit. And I don't even mind having to replay the game to unlock the last story, because the more I played the game, the more I liked it. It's not like with other people, like, by the time I got to Team Dark, I really felt like I was good at the game. And it was satisfying, getting better and better at it. Maybe it would feel a lot more repetitive if I replayed the entire game again, but I did that for the GameCube, and again, I didn't really mind. So yeah, this is a pretty good game. And I'm not sure what else to say, because this is my last LP. Until Mania. Well, Mania is out, but for some reason I don't feel motivated to get a Switch just to play it, and I've heard about the whole DRM controversy with the PC version. I mean, obviously it's going to get cracked. It's going to get cracked. But I'll get Mania eventually, and maybe I'll do a commentary on it. Classic Sonic games aren't really my thing anymore because you can't see what's ahead of you for less than 2 inches when you're running ahead. If you weren't in the center of the camera the whole time, then it would be a lot better. But who knows? I like Sonic 3 and Knuckles, so